Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're gonna go over the Shaman magical awesome artifact weapons because nobody's really touched on them save for Preach, and I really find it hard to locate somebody who focuses heavily on shamans that I can really get the information from them that's necessary. And I've been playing shaman since launch day of Vanilla WoW way back when, so I know a little something about them. I'm no master, but I know the class and I've seen the evolution of them. So let's just dive through. In this one, I'm going to be touching on Elemental. I will do Enhancement and Restoration at another time. I will say ahead of time, I've been playing Enhancement for the entirety of Warlords of Draenor. Prior to that, I was Elemental for Mists of Pandaria. And I kind of jumped back and forth. So I've played every spec, but I haven't played Restoration in the more recent iterations. I think last time I played Resto was Wrath of the Lich King. So we'll bear with me on that one. So let's just dive on into the talent calculator of Elemental. So this is on the MMO-champion, of course. Sorry, words are a thing. Late night, just got out of work doing this video. You know how it goes. So the elemental weapon is the Fists of Ra-Den. Now Ra-Den, as you know, he's that heroic boss that you can get to if you drop Lei Shen on heroic mode. And he was being drained of his lifeblood. That was the Animus. He actually was the creator of the elemental plane, which was the prison used by the Titans to imprison the elements during the Dark Empire, I believe, which is when the old gods were ruling. The Titans came in, were like, yo, we don't like how you're running things, we're gonna fix it up, let's fix it up. They battled, they fought, killed Yesaraj, he went, ha, and breathed out Shah. The rest of them got imprisoned. Cthulhu, or Cthulhu, however you want to say it, Yogg-Saron, Enzoth, and at least one other unknown, possibly a million unknown, because Blizzard can do whatever they want, right? So Ra-Den didn't really have much story, he was just kind of there. So we know Lei Shen tricked him, and that was it. So now we know a lot more about him. Now, of course, with the weapon, it's a fist weapon, so you also get an offhand, you get a shield. I don't know the name of the shield, it hasn't been updated on the site yet, but hey, whatever, that's no big deal. So we can explore this as is. So one thing that's noticeable with all the artifacts is there's a particular start point, and it's this particular thing right here. It has a golden ring. It's not the golden dragons that we see here, here, and here. It's just a golden ring. That's your start point, and usually from there, with most of the artifact weapons, you can branch out. So the first thing that we're seeing with the elemental shaman is Stormkeeper. Now this is actually a spell that can be used. Apparently it's using 60 lunar power. I'm fairly certain that's wrong, and it's supposed to say Maelstrom, and it's going to be updated. But again, Legion, not WAD, Legion, is only an alpha, so things are subject to change. So let's just go through this, take a quick gander, and see what they are. So Stormkeeper, 60 Maelstrom, I'm going to estimate. It's a 1.5 second cast time, so that's a pretty long cast time, but it's a minute cooldown, so this is one hard-hitting spell, it seems. So raise the Fist of Ra-Den into the sky and absorb all nearby electrical energy, causing your next 3 lightning bolt or chain lightning to have a 100% chance to critical strike at 200% increased damage. So this is a buff that's buffing your lightning bolt or your chain lightning. Your next 3, that's insane for AoE damage on a chain lightning. You were just going to wreck the shit out of things, pardon my French. And lightning bolt, it's great for single target damage if you're just nuking the boss. It's just a nice, straight DPS boost that's beneficial in both single and multi-target. So let's go north to Call of Thunder. Lightning bolt damage increased by 6. That's at rank 1. At 2 is 2 is 10, and maxed out it's 13. So 30% increased damage to lightning bolt. That's nice. It's just a straightforward damage increase. We're going to continue on this line just to keep going this way, and we got Earthen Attunement. Increase the damage of your Earth Shock by 6%, all the way up to 13, so it seems like 13 is the way to go. So we're just buffing spells, so straightforward. So we have, so far, one spell that's actually a buff, It's not a spell to be cast that does damage, it just increases your damage. And then in this direction, it's passive abilities that just increase direct damage. Alright, which way do we want to go? Which way? Well, let's go this way. Lava Imbued. Lava Burst damage increased by 6% at rank 1, 13 at rank 2. So what I'm noticing here is the top path of the Fists of Ra-Den are all passive damage increases. So if you don't want to add a lot of stuff to your bars, this seems like it's going to be the way to go. The other abilities, I don't know yet. We have to look at them. But so far, this is definitely just a passive walk through the park that's just helping you out. I'm going to save the Golden Dragon abilities till the end, simply because they're magic and special. So we're going to go down here to Searing Shocks. Flame Shock lasts an additional 4 seconds. Let's see, all the way up to 8 seconds. So that's pretty nice if you're going to be multi-dotting to get Flame Shock on a lot of people, because the way that the Shaman is working, the ticks do something, and I can't remember what it is right now. But it has something to do with, it's similar to how Lava Burst works now, where you get Lava Surge, the more that's on there. They also heals you a little bit, I believe, based on a talent you can take. So if you're multi-dotting, it's easier to spread it around. Single target, it's one less thing to worry about. It's pretty much just comes down to matching your timing with Lightning Bolt, making sure that the dot stays on, and you'll be fine. Following this, we got Static Overload. Every 3 casts of Chain Lightning will cause all targets hit to also be hit by an elemental overload of Chain Lightning. So you're just giving them an elemental overload. It's pretty much saying that, oh, you haven't had an elemental overload in a while, here, have one. Oh, you did have an elemental overload? Here, have another one. So it's just, this is harkening back to Mists of Pandaria elemental shamans that had the awesome passive of elemental overload, or mastery rather, not this earthen shard, which as much as it did kind of look cool, elemental overload was so much cooler, and this is just bringing that back. It's just like another kind of echo of elements talent. It's just boosting the ability for a shaman to really grasp who they are. Because when I think of an elemental shaman, I think of Emperor Palpatine launching Force Lightning, and that's exactly what a shit ton of Chain Lightnings look like. So this is really embracing that. So for me, so far these talents are actually making me more interested in Elemental again, which I really have a soft spot for, so it's a little biased. But that's a really nice ability to guarantee that elemental overload. So it'll be nice, but you just prepare yourself to be seeing. I mean, I know we're going to have the spell effect reduction for other people and whatnot, but you're still going to see all kinds of Chain Lightning all over the place, just wrecking things. It's going to be good. Alright, so let's step back, and we're going to go back over here to this magic ability we haven't looked at. Shamanistic Healing. Ooh, utility. Okay, so this top tier right here, this row of Call of Thunder, Earth and Attunement, yada yada, that's straight damage boosts. This is a utility boost, and judging by some of the other artifacts I've looked at, it seems like that's how the majority of them go. They give a little bit of utility / survivability. Ooh, man, I burped. That just happened. Whatever. You guys loved it. Okay, so Shamanistic Healing. When you fall below 30% health, Healing Surge is automatically cast on you. It can only occur every 15 seconds. Let's see, does that change at all? Oh, okay, so when you drop below 40%. So as you put points into it, it just makes it so that your health can be a little higher, and this will auto-cast. So it kind of pulls you out of the danger zone. That's pretty neat. It's nice. It kind of makes it so that you don't have to worry about as much. You got to focus your health anyways, make sure you're safe, but this is kind of like a, you know, things get really hairy situation. You kind of have an auto-heal that just triggers. Molten Blast. Increase critical damage of Lava Burst up to 13% at max. So that's another just straight damage increase because, you know, Lava Burst always crits, so why not make it crit like a truck? Next to that, we have Elementalist. Each time you cast Lava Burst, the cooldown of Summon Fire Elemental is reduced by 2 seconds. That's beautiful. If you're getting a copious amount of Lava Surges, and you're just firing these things off like it's nobody's business, then you're just set up for success. That's so good. If you combo that with like a nice, like say you take Ascendance for Elementals, Elemental Shamans, it makes it so that lava burst is pretty much your lightning bolt. You just spit fire lava bursts. If you burn your fire elemental with your ascendants, by the amount that you're going to fire off, you're going to reduce the cast time on, or the cooldown on that fire elemental totem by an exponential amount. Also, if you take the talent that makes it so your fire elemental becomes a lightning elemental, oh, that's not a talent, that's on here actually, because I read ahead. I'm sorry, everybody. Spoilers on abilities, I guess? I don't know. But if you have that, you're going to be able to drop your fire elemental, get a nice damage increase, fire off a crap ton of lava bursts, and reduce the cooldown on the elemental to the point where it's probably going to be able to drop shortly after your Ascendance fades. Now, it's every time you cast Lava Burst, so I'm going to assume, because it would be stupid overpowered if it didn't, I'm going to assume that Elemental Overloads do not count. But if they do, and you're getting crazy procs of them, then you can just cast Fire Elemental whenever the hell you want, as long as you have Ascendance going. But I highly doubt that Elemental Overload will trigger it, because usually it doesn't trigger other things. It's its own category. Elemental Overload is triggered. The spell that was triggered doesn't have any other effects other than the fact that it does damage, was free, and auto-casted. That's about it. So that's pretty neat. That's a neat ability. Let's go this way here. Protection of the Elements. Reduce damage taken by 6%, going up to 13%. That's pretty standard across the board. Every artifact weapon has a damage reduction ability. Not too much to really talk about there. Alright, so now we have two abilities that have similar things. We'll go north. Stormcaller. Your fire elemental is replaced with a lightning elemental. That's what he was just talking about and spoiled a little bit. So I'm assuming that Elementalist will combo with Stormcaller. So even though you've taken Stormcaller, your fire elemental cooldown will most likely still apply to Stormcaller, because it would just make sense. You're not going to replace something and then have it nullify one of your other traits on your fist weapon. That just doesn't make any sense, right? Alright, next, Electric Discharge. Chain Lightning bounces to 2 additional targets. So now we have 5 targets. We have 5 targets getting pummeled with Static Overload and all kinds of elemental. It's just gonna be this crazy light show of delicious zibbity-zaps and zibbity-zoops. It's gonna be awesome. So awesome. I really am pumped for Elemental. Alright, we got one more before the big golden dragon abilities. Master of the Elements. Each time an elemental overload occurs, you gain 5% haste for 3 seconds. That is nasty. If you have a high mastery and you're just pumping out elemental overloads, your haste is just going to increase. If this stacked, that would be dangerous. It doesn't stack, but you get it for 3 seconds. That's at least a lightning bolt, maybe half a lightning bolt. You can, depending on what your actual haste is and stuff. But if you're getting that 5% haste and you're triggering another one, you can in theory keep that buff up for a decent amount of time, as long as you got a good RNG luck of the draw. I don't love RNG and all, but hey, that's neato. Alright, so we've gone through all these basic abilities that can be tacked on here, right? Let's check out the Golden Dragons, which are the special end-of-the-line abilities that you can get. So first off, we have Volcanic Inferno. Lava Burst has a chance to open a volcanic fissure under the target, dealing 5 plus 60% of spell power damage to all enemies within 2 yards of the volcano every 1 second for 6 seconds. So it's just making it so that your Lava Burst can trigger some AoE damage, alleviating the stress on Chain Lightning. Maybe on a fight where there's adds and you still need to burn the boss a little bit and you don't want to switch completely to Chain Lightning, or when you have multiple adds, a flame shock on the boss, or whatever the threat ad is, and you're Chain Lightning like crazy, you're just launching them off, you still get a Lava Surge. You're not going to waste the Lava Surge now, because Chain Lightning is going to give you higher DPS. It's still going to give you good DPS, but now with this, you can launch off the hard critting Lava Burst while gaining some AoE damage for a short amount of time that kind of nullifies the fact that you dropped the Chain Lightning for a second. So it makes it okay to play with fire. That's what it does. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Let's check this out. Fury of the Stormlord. When you summon your lightning elemental, an image of Ra Den will crash down next to you, sending blasts of lightning towards all targets affected by Flame Shock. Alright, so again, we have, where is it? This one. Flame Shock lasts an additional 8 seconds, Searing Shocks. So now you can multi-dot everybody. Flame Shock for you, Flame Shock for you, Flame Shock for you, Flame Shock for you. Fury of the Elements. Boom, I got this. Summon my lightning elemental. Summons, Ra Den shows up out of nowhere. He just teleports to your location, slams down, takes a massive lightning dump on everybody, and just goes bye and disappears. That's just a cool sounding ability. It's more flash to me. I'm sure it's a really big DPS ability. It's probably a hard-hitting nuke, but it's more flashy. I'm not like, oh man, I can't wait for that one. I can't wait for that because I want to see what it looks like, not because I really care about using it all that much. I'm sure it'll be a fun ability that is going to hit really hard, but it's just kind of whatever. I think it's just going to look really cool to have a Titan Keeper drop down and melt somebody's face for you. Alright, let's move on to the last one. Elemental Empowerment. Casting a nature spell increases the damage of your fire spells by 3% for 4 seconds. Casting a fire spell increases the damage of your nature spells by 3 seconds for 4 seconds. So this is just like a back and forth thing. Flame Shock goes out, now your Lightning Bolt is going to hit harder, so you Flame Shock, or maybe you open with a Lightning Bolt, then you Flame Shock, then you Lightning Bolt, then you Lava Burst. If you really want to do that to get the buff, I personally think that you're still going to be better opening up with the Flame Shock Lava Burst combination, and then from there, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. It'll keep up that fire spell damage percentage until Lava Surge procs or Lava Burst comes off cooldown. Once it's off cooldown, fire it off, and boom, now your next Lightning Bolt is going to be ready to go. Also, this kind of gives you a reason to refresh Flame Shock if you really want to, or just multi-dotting. Okay, Flame Shock's on this target. As soon as it's off cooldown, I can dot another target and go back to DPS on the target I was on if necessary. And I also got the nature damage buff. So that's pretty cool. I like that one. It's a passive ability. Again, what it seems like they're really focusing on is there's passive abilities and then there's active abilities. So if you don't want things on the bars and you don't really want to deal with more buttons, they have some passive abilities that you can deal with, and you're not getting item bloat. Most of this is pretty passive. I'm pretty excited for it. I actually am really interested in trying out Elemental Shaman with the artifact weapon, just seeing how they play. I'm also really interested in seeing the spell changes, like what the Lightning Elemental looks like, and of course the Fury of the Stormlord. I think it's going to be a pretty cool looking ability. But that's all we have for the Fists of Ra Den. I'll be doing enhancement DPS, enhancement shamans next, and then restoration, and then from there I will just go on to whatever I think is interesting for the time being. Channel small, I have 6 subscribers, you know, nothing crazy. So if you guys want to tell me what you like, if you guys were enjoying the video, by all means tell me. Tell your friends. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's have a little chat about these abilities. What are you looking forward to? Do you think Elemental looks fun? Do you think a Mage looks fun? Do you think a Death Knight looks fun? What ability do you, or what artifact weapon are you going to go for? Let me know. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, see you later.